Is this the real Anne? Now, many of us have probably developed their own thoughts on this question at this point, and so have I, but I wanted to make this video anyway because I needed to get this question out of my head. I did want to make this video sooner, but I wanted to ask you guys about your thoughts on Anne, and I wanted to see Matt Brawley's answer to this question, in which he says,
in as far as like her soul, and those are some big questions that, philosophical questions that the show doesn't have answers for, because like those answers don't exist in life. You guys know the ship of Theseus, that kind of philosophical exercise where it's about a ship that if you change its parts over time to the point where every part has been replaced, is it the same ship? It's kind of like that, more of a philosophical question than something I would have a hard answer for.
So basically, there's not really a wrong answer to this question because it is a philosophical debate. I mean, he even brought up the ship of Theseus, which I have my own thoughts on, which I will address.
I feel like this is gonna come back later!
I could leave this question at that, but ambiguous endings are something I usually don't like, which is why I'm going to try to give a hard answer, at least for myself. You guys don't have to agree with me, of course. So after hearing this and seeing your guys' takes on this question in my community post, I'm fairly confident in saying that the Anne we see at the end of the show is in fact the real Anne. I will explain why, but before I do, I want to highlight what many of you guys said to explain why post-death Anne is actually a clone, not the real Anne. The main crux of the argument in favor of clone Anne is the way the Three Stones deity, whom I'll call Domino 3 for simplicity,
Whew, hope there isn't a Domino 3.
explained what happened to Anne just before she bit the dust.
Am I dead or something?
Yes and no. I made a copy of you right before you expired. A backup, if you will. For all intents and purposes, you're the same Anne Boonchoi.
Well, that's gonna cause some serious existential dread later on.
So based on this clip alone, it does seem like Domino 3 just copy and pasted Anne's bodies, memories, personality, and so on to create a new entity that identifies themselves as Anne, therefore a clone. There are also other visual cues to suggest that this Anne is not the same Anne we knew and loved from the beginning of the show, namely her shoe being on the wrong foot. Everything is essentially new, and despite everything being a perfect copy, it's still a copy. Now, if you choose to believe that the Anne at the end of the episode is a clone, that's fine. However, there's also the other arguments that people have brought up to suggest that Anne at the end of the episode is the real Anne, and to me, they are the stronger arguments overall. You see, the ship of Theseus only makes sense with things that are physically measurable, like ships, cars, houses, and other physical bodies. However, consciousness is something that can't be compared in this paradox because, as far as we can tell, consciousness is not physically measurable. It is pretty much agreed on by most of the fandom that post-death Anne does not have the same body as pre-death Anne. However, Anne's consciousness is still original. Now, some might argue that what Domino 3 said about making a copy also applies to her consciousness, but that implies there could be an original consciousness or soul that still exists and it's able to see post-death Anne live out the life she's supposed to have, basically a ghost. But there's no evidence to suggest that within the show itself. Also, for the sake of logistics, it makes more sense for Domino 3 to take the original consciousness and put it in a new body, rather than make a complete clone where they can screw up the consciousness of the clone in the copy and paste process. I mean, Domino 3 couldn't even do it properly with her physical body. The odds of them making a perfect copy of a non-physical soul is basically zero. One final thing to note is that the show actually did define what a soul is in one of its episodes. It was a brief moment, but it's important nonetheless.
Alright, it's time for today's topic. Souls! Do robots have them?
It is our belief that anything with memories has a soul.
So within the show's own rules, as long as the memories and by extension personality, thoughts, desires, and so on are the same and there's no one else out there to claim to be the same person, the soul and consciousness of post-death Anne is the same as pre-death Anne. Therefore, the soul is original. It's the same soul but with a new body, which to me, that means the Anne we see at the end of the show is indeed the real Anne. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. I know this topic is very heavy and I'm sure many of you guys will disagree with me or just be very confused, but I just wanted to get this out of my system so I can move on and make videos about other things. Speaking of which, I want to give a heads up of what is to come for this channel. So first off, more videos like this where I explain a concept or theory will come over the next few months. I plan on making some review videos of the show itself. Not sure if I want to go about it on an individual episodes basis or review it by each season, but I'll figure it out soon enough. For now though, Iconic Amphibia Quotes Part 8 should come out in a couple days, and I do want to stress that that series of videos will come to an end fairly soon. However, I do want to make these last 3 parts of the Iconic Quotes series very special. So for those who don't know, Part 8 will consist of Season 1 quotes, Part 9 will consist of Season 2 quotes, finally Part 10 will consist of Season 3 quotes, and something special at the end which I'll let you know about later. I've collected the quotes I needed for Part 8 at this point, so no need to comment down Season 1 quotes anymore. However, if you want to comment down a quote for Part 9, you can write down a Season 2 quote in the comment section of this video or Part 8 of the Iconic Quotes compilation once it's released. I'm not looking into Season 3 quotes yet, so please don't comment down Season 3 quotes until Part 9 is released. I hope what I said made sense, but this video is going long enough. So yeah, thanks again for watching this video all the way through. I hope you guys have an excellent day. See you in the next one.